Hi guys, Firmbie with you, and welcome to Car Mechanic Simulator 2015. It's great to have your company. Now, just a quick repair I just wanted to share with you. It's one of the cars that's been recently released in Car Mechanic. It's actually the Bentley series. There's actually two of these, two models of the Bentleys released recently in Car Mechanic, and we'd have a quick spin around just to have a look at the old girl. What a nice looking car. Let's have a look at the interior there. Automatic gearbox, nice red trim. So we've got a CD player going on in the middle there. The Bentley logo on the steering wheel, which is a nice touch, and again the red trim on the door frame there as well. So let's hop out and see what repair we need to do today. So we'll be looking at changing the oil. Our magic number today is 90%. So we need to change the oil in the filter. Car is hard to control. We need to discover these parts, of course, and the loud exhaust. So all those parts we need to discover as we go along. But the change of oil and changing of the oil filter is fairly straightforward. So let's pop it over on the right hand side lifter. I predominantly use this right hand side lifter only because it's just a lot closer to the repair table. But you could quite easily use the other lifter if you so wish. So let's pop the old girl up in the air and see what we have to deal with. So one of the first things is actually get the oil out and put new oil in and the oil filter. Just a matter of finding the oil plug. And it looks like it's slightly different to the others. So it looks like there it is on the side there. So we're draining that oil straight on the floor. Someone else can clean that up. Let's get that old oil out. And while we're here, we might as well drop the old oil filter off as well. So we'll open up our tab and simply type in oil there and look for the oil filter, and we'll whack that on while we're down here. Just lining myself up with the oil pan so that I've actually got a good view of where the oil filter goes. Brand new oil filter, there we go. Let's bring it back down and see what else we need to look at. Let's get rid of that old oil filter that we don't need, of course. Nice looking manifold, nice looking engine actually, in fact nice clean lines. It's a nice looking engine. So yeah, actually looking forward to getting that engine apart at some stage. So let's pop that oil in while we're here. Obviously one of the prerequisites for this repair is actually a new oil and oil filter. And the oil is just about done, brand new golden looking oil, now she's full. What else we got? Car is hard to control, poor brake performance, and exhaust. So let's get the old girl back up in there and start dealing with these brake components and exhaust components as well. Actually, before I forget, speaking of brake components, there's actually the ABS pump, isn't there? So that's part of the brake. There it is there, the ABS module and the pump. So we'll get those ripped out while we're here. And as you can see by the condition of it, that would have been part of the brake components that we need to find. So we'll get that out while we're there. Now we can get the old girl back up in the air and start looking at brake shoes, brake calipers, and of course the exhaust system. So let's get that wheel off. There's a Bentley symbol on the tyre there, which is a nice touch. The brake caliper here looks pretty shagged. So does those pads. Brake pads at 22%. So yep. Definitely need replacing those. We'll get some of that exhaust system off while we're here. Oh, that outer tyre rod doesn't look too healthy either. Actually, neither does that sway bar. We'll get that sway bar off. And as I said before, a lot of these components you can find as you go along. You could quite simply take it into the test bay if you wanted to find them out, or use your test tool. But a lot of the time you just find them as you go along, especially some of these smaller repairs. So get that brake ventilator off, and that sway bar as well on this side. Rip him off like so. What else we got here? Oh, looks like that inner and outer tie rod as well. So let's get those out while we're here, guys, and then we'll move down to the back and look at these other brake components and exhaust components that we need to deal with. Again, the Bentley symbol on the tyre there, on the front and back tyres. Nice little touch there. Kudos to the developers for doing that. What else we're looking at? We need those exhaust systems out there. It doesn't look like there's too much suspension wise down on this quarter, so we'll come around to this other side and do exactly the same on this side, get these brake components out, and we get the remainder of these exhaust components out, and we should be getting very close to finding all the components. I'd be very surprised if we haven't. middle muffler. Let's bring that up and see whether we've found those hard to control parts. We've found all the brake components and we've found all the exhaust components. Fantastic. So okay, over to the repair table we go, and our magic number is 90%. So we only need to repair up to that 90%. So see how many we can actually make. How many we can actually repair up before we actually break them. And a couple of them we did break, so obviously they're going to need replacing. You can see I like sorting by condition, which obviously gives you your parts of the lowest condition at the top and the parts with the highest condition down the bottom. So you only need to deal with the parts that we need to replace, and then anything that's under 90%. So we've just come in. I've just did a little bit of off-camera work here. We just purchased those parts off-camera just for the sake of time on this particular build. So I mean, you've seen me purchase things from the shop before. You just bring up your tablet, or you can go over your computer if you so wish. But I find just by purchasing a tablet, you just press T on your keyboard, brings up the tablet. You can purchase straight from there, and it just saves you walking back and forth to the computer on the other side of the workshop. So we're just getting those parts stowed away now. I think some of the exhaust systems going in, and the brake disc ventilated, and these inner and outer tie rods. Brand new parts for those. We've got that sway bar to go in as well. The sway bars on both sides were knackered, so we had to purchase brand new ones of those. The ventilator was fine. Brake shoes and calipers, and had to have brand new calipers. Once the calipers are on, let's get that tyre over the top of it, like so, and we'll move down to the third quarter. Might even better get some of these. Yeah, there we go. Some of these exhaust parts in while we're here. The middle mufflers. Just really depends on whether you can reach them. Sometimes you might have to reposition yourself to get those exhaust systems on. Brake calipers are going on over the brake shoes, and then the tyre straight over that. I mean, that tyre could have done with a little bit of work, but I just didn't want to break him, so I left him as is. As I said, the repair value was 90%, so they weren't looking for 100% repair value. And brake calipers over the top of the shoes, and the tyre over the top of that. So generally what I like to do once we get to this point is actually bring up the inventory and actually see what we have remaining. We've got ABS module and ABS pump. So we all know where that is, obviously in the engine bay, so it's one of the first components we actually took out. So just pop the engine bay, the ABS pump and module sitting right at the back there, in with the pump and in with the module. There's 6 bolts on that module, so they tighten up fairly quickly. And we should be getting very, very close, guys. Let's lower that bonnet. And we have green lights across the board. Fantastic. So all repaired up to the required minimum value of 90%. So we've got money spent on job, 3,543, 1,771 for both the task completed and completing of the job. So it gives us a total earned of $7,085. Alright guys, thank you very much for your company. I do appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next one.